Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you. I wanted to say that today's CMA Showcase video is really exciting for me because I get to speak to none other than Rachel Williams. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me as well. This is a really lovely opportunity. As nerve-wracking as it is, it's a little bit scary,
Oh,
but a
oh no,
pleasure.
no, no, don't be, no, you're among friends. You're among
Yeah,
friends. So
I know.
me and little Jesse here, we were talking earlier, weren't we, Rachel? He may pop his head up, or he may not. He looks so he's gone to sleep now. So Jesse is somebody that a lot of people are going to be seeing a lot more of because he's the CMA office dog. And so he may just join the conversation in a moment. But Rachel, look, thank you for joining us. We're so proud to have you with us at the CMA. It's, it is fantastic because you do incredible work. So for our audience, we've got our viewers and our listeners. Would you just explain a little bit about the work that you do and, and how it benefits people?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm relatively newly certified in crystal healing. I've completed a fantastic course via a crystal mystery school that's also accredited with the CMA, actually. So to know that on completion that I was able to become a member through the competence of the course and just the wisdom of the course in general that has led me here is um, a brilliant sort of opportunity, and also just to know that I'm in a place of support is incredible. So the work that I do has very much been built upon, I suppose I like to term it my path of curiosity. I've lived that path of curiosity for as long as I can remember. And pretty much that turning point for me was a number of years ago. So I decided at that time that counselling would be something that I'd love to step into. So my chosen modality at that time was explorative. So I entered that space. And upon qualifying, my experiences of being with people, with other humans, and spending time and being in, it's a privilege. It's absolutely a privilege to be allowed to step into somebody else's world, and to be able to view it from their standpoint. And that means the tough stuff, as long as alongside all of the joy and happiness. And where that has taken me is entered into very much belief systems that are a huge part. I was noticing that in my work as a counsellor, belief systems play a massive part in somebody's existence, and that led me on the path of curiosity. So, okay, what other outlooks are there that I would like to explore? And that's where I entered sort of various different, I've read endless books on various topics, be it things that such as the crystal world, the Reiki world, the world of essential oils and how they enhance various things, and angels and guides. And I've looked at it from various different perspectives, from a kind of a scientific place, be it a very spiritual place, and it draws my curiosities into the next thing, into the next thing, to the next thing. So how I arrived in the crystal world, again, I think one curiosity led to another curiosity, and then I was hooked. And so for myself, stepping into this place, I think what I found is another way of creating a space in which somebody can step into with the knowledge and the trust that they can safely unfold their lived experiences, their vulnerabilities, as well as the good parts of their existence. And I very much view it as it's a different space, absolutely a different space to the one that I hold when I'm working as a counsellor, but nonetheless, it's a equally nurturing space and an enriching space, one that still keeps that person very much in control, I suppose, autonomous in how it is that they seek their own healing. And crystals for me is a way in which that can bridge that gap into that world, I suppose. So yeah, the path of curiosity is probably the reason why I am here,
Yeah.
and also where I'm going to go is endless.
Mm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I totally, and I think the thing with all of us in complementary medicine is that we all tend to be eternal students, don't we? You know, sort of adding, you know, we'll get to a certain point and then we'll realize that there's another modality that we can kind of bolt on, and kind of create our own take on the way that the modalities inform each other. It's a truly fascinating thing to see the evolution of people's practices. And as you mentioned, you know, you're relatively new, newly qualified, but you know, what you do bring with you, of course, is this incredible wealth of life experience. You know, I think which is just so important. You know, and I think it's very interesting that, I mean, I've seen over the last well, it's now over 3 decades of being you know, of being at the helm of the Complementary Medical Association, just seeing that people tend to come into this field as mature, formed adults. You know, it's not as if you've got students leaving school and coming straight in. So you've got people who have this incredible wealth of life experience, of lived experience, who bring so much to the party. And I think this is part of the richness of complementary medicine, in all of the disciplines that we see. So, you know, and I know that, you know, you've got sort of various particular principles, and you work in a particularly unique way. So would you be able to talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, definitely. These are really, really important to me, actually, and I strive to uphold these to the best of my ability. And the one principle being that trust. It's
Yeah.
imperative to be able to step into this space. I would always encourage somebody to explore with different experiments, different people who offer different types of help and support, speak to us, get a sort of an idea of who we are and how we work. And it's important to find the right person to be able to step into this space and be vulnerable, because it's a vulnerable place when you enter without all of the masks and the barriers that typically we will put up in society in general. So I think trust in the process, trust that it does take time in order to step into that place of courage, to be able to see the world in a different way, in the way that you need to see it also, and how that differs from one person to another. And patience and kindness, again, to fully adopt the patience and kindness that is needed in order to trust your own ability to make the right choices. I like to use the word missteps as opposed to mistakes, because mistakes infer that you went wrong. Well, no, because that misstep, if you like, is a necessary thing sometimes in order to guide you towards the thing that is right for you. So so trust, there's patience, there's kindness, there's autonomy. This has to be a place that you are guiding, I guess, the person that you're working with, and what the person you're working with who's chosen by you can provide the space for you to step into. But for me, it's important to listen to what that person's needs
Yes.
are, and
Yeah.
to provide what it is that will allow them to explore their own answers and solutions, to navigate their own journey, and also trust in that this space is a safe one to do so. We know that sometimes we can sort of invest in people or organisations that don't always uphold our highest good or our best interests, and we can learn from those lessons, and to know that you know, when you have found somebody that you know to be the right person to support you through your life journeys, your challenges, whatever your goals and intentions might be, to know that you're safe to do that. I think safety is an important principle as well, and in line with that, also to know that this isn't a place where you will be judged. To know that you can openly share. I suppose some of the things we stick in our shadow selves, don't we? And, you know, we all have one, and we often put the best parts of this in the shadow self. And when I experience being with somebody in their space, for me to see that glimmer existing in their shadow self, and almost to want to sort of pull it. I can't do that. I can see it, but actually to help and support them to recognize that, and actually to put it out to the shadows and give it that full light in the safety and knowledge that you will not be judged for whatever that thing is, but actually to recognize it as alternatively as your strength and your uniqueness as well. So yeah, they're the sort of the principles that I typically like to uphold and adopt when I work with somebody.
Right. Okay. Absolutely. So important as well. It's deeply respectful of their autonomy and their integrity, which is just so important. And I love the way you talk about, creating a sort of an environment of safety, because, frankly, we can't work without creating an environment of safety and trust, and knowing that that our practice rooms are sacred spaces, and what goes on there stays in there. And because once we get once the client sort of gains an understanding of that integrity, that's when you can really do the deep and powerful work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
important. Yes. Okay. Now, I know that you were saying that when we set these in these videos up, we say, is there anything that you'd like to be asked about? And you did actually mention about like networks that you're connected to. So I'd love to know a little bit more about those.
Yeah, for me, it's really important, because both in my counselling role and also I'm in the crystal, the holistic world, I think they can be very lonely places. We don't usually, they're not the type of job roles that you tend to have conversations over necessarily, and also you wouldn't want to, because there is that aspect of the sacred nature in which the way that you work, the confidentiality aspect and so forth. So we're very much in a position whereby we hold human vulnerabilities, and we're human also. So we will hold other people's things sometimes, and that can be quite burdensome to us. So I really do think it's important to have networks in two capacities, actually: a network of a safe space to be able to perhaps anonymously and confidentially gain insights, knowledge and learnings from other people. So for instance, I'm now attending a monthly practitioner circle, whereby I'm part of a community of like-minded holistic people with various different disciplines and levels of experience and expertise. And should it be that, with client consent and of course anonymity, if I were to be working with somebody that I feel that I'm potentially not providing something that is missing, having a safe space to share that with someone's consent is just invaluable. It's absolutely invaluable to be able to plough my that knowledge then back into my work with individual is just a gift. But also networks in regards to how I can continue to enhance and build upon the layers that I'm developing as well. I will never know it all. We will never know it all. We are never complete. And that's a lovely thing. This type of space definitely does pique your interest and curiosities, and long may my path of curiosity continue, because it's massively rewarding. So for me also to have networks of safe places that I know that I can go to layer up my knowledge through training, perhaps certification and whatever it may be. But so networks in terms of my peers, because it can be a lonely space sometimes. It's a privileged space, absolutely, but it can sometimes be lonely. So I had to have that space to share like-mindedness, but also a place to go to know that I can continue this work and ensure that I'm able to offer the best that I can continually.
Yes, yes, absolutely fantastic. How do people find out about you? Anybody who's for whom this conversation has sort of really piqued their interest. How do people find you? And and how do you work? Do you just work? Can you work virtually, or do people have to come to you and be with you in the room, so to speak?
So both. I'm choosing to work both remotely, so via video link, so in this similar space, and also in person. So I'm based in Bridgend, so I can be contacted and found. I'm in the process currently of changing my domain name. So since becoming a counsellor and adding in this newness to my now skill set, I've changed my name now from the counselling variation to dimensional therapies. So I can be found on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, so under the name of Dimensional Therapies. My website also, Dimensional Therapies, but currently the domain name would be Rachel Williams Counselling, which, so if you look up Dimensional Therapies, it will be redirected, but that is still me. I'm just in that process of transitioning from the one domain name to the other domain name. So,
all good fun.
Absolutely, yeah, not my area of expertise.
No, I feel for you. So, but Dimensional Therapies is the name that you are going to be known under. So in the show notes, where, you know, underneath the video, if you're watching this on video, underneath the video, it says more, ... Click on that. It'll drop down the show notes, and that's where you'll be able to find Rachel's details. Rachel, this is absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Is there anything else that you'd like to say in closing at all? Just in order to help our viewers and our listeners just get a bit more of a flavour of the work that you do and how you support people.
I think for me, this is a huge part, becoming part of a member organisation that has given me this opportunity is brilliant. So if I were to sort of work with somebody, this would be definitely a signposting for me, for somebody who's curious about complementary medicine in general, in terms of how they can support themselves, how they can support others. So I'm very open also when working with people to signpost them in directions whereby they can take full control over their own curiosities as well. So I'm hugely thankful that we've been able to have this opportunity today. It's massively meaningful to me because I know that the CMA is huge. So for you to take some time out to speak to me today is it's a bit mind-blowing.
Oh, no, not at all. Honestly, it's a pleasure and a privilege. The thing is, Rachel, that, you know, we are so dedicated to supporting our members and anything that we can do to help to promote your work and so on. So no, this it's an absolute honor to be with you, and such a pleasure to actually sort of meet you in person, so to speak. You know, you're doing fabulous work, and we couldn't be more proud of you and proud of having you as a member with us. And you know, I'm sure that we'll have you back because you've got so much wonderful stuff to share. So you know, this is just the beginning, really. So thank you, and just couldn't be more grateful to you.
Thank you very much, and yeah, and bye to Jessie as well. I look forward to seeing more of Jessie.
Oh, you will, definitely. Take care. Talk soon.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.